Usually schools put more effort in the passing of PLEs. So they usually celebrate the events of passing the examinations. They always don't think about this child's future.
Even the town schools can go back to get that methodology, the way we have been taught in the past. But the question comes in, what is the picture of director?
Someone can come out of the campus when he doesn't even know what he's going to do out there.
Once a child has failed to interpret the question in his or her mother language, there is no way a child can answer that question right.
We have categories of schools, and we have ordinary schools and extraordinary schools. The main objective of the ordinary schools is purely to teach children to pass examinations. Now what happens in these schools? All the focus is always on just how do we complete the syllabus? How will children pass? Are we together? They don't mind about a child's future or a child's foundation. It's all about passing exams. That's why in those schools, at times you find that there is no other activity, anything done apart from studies. From morning to evening, it is studies. And the main objective is to make parents happy. All together. To make parents happy. Because when parents are happy, it simply means they will give us more children. But such schools, they don't put any focus on a child's future. No. Now, the purpose is, how do we complete the syllabus on time? Huh? How do our kids pass? Are we together? And the major focus is the teacher and time. As a teacher, you have to be totally devoted to time and delivering content. And that's why ordinary schools always release or give us ordinary citizens. Are we getting that? In most cases, they are also driven by market forces. You know the market forces? What do parents want? A parent can easily influence anything in that school and it will happen. Are we together? Are we getting it? Yes. Now, what happens, and majorly these ones are called business schools. Business schools. Are we together? Now, the main objective of education is not passing exams. True or false? Huh? True or false, members? True. It is not passing exams. But the main objective of education, and even why education was invented, or why education was promoted in the early years. I don't know if any person among you has ever taken time to read about that. I took time and made a lot of research on why education came about. But the main objective was not to pass exams, but the main objective was mainly to transform lives. Are we together? Is the life transformed? Can a person make an informed decision? Can the person, can they have the deep thinking? They call it even the deep thinking. Now ask yourself a simple question. Does our education today still have the deep thinking? No. It's all about the face value thinking and answering. You have something to say?
I was adding that what you're saying is true. Because in the past days, we used to have our grands used to tell us that I ended in P3, but the reasoning of this person is better than that one in senior 6 of nowadays. But this person completed P3 in the past years. The first education they had trained them to be good business people, because someone who ended in P3 can do good business better than someone of a campus of nowadays. Someone can come out of the campus when he doesn't even know what he's going to do out there. Yes. Can't even write the CV. So the education today, the pressure is how are we getting customers and how are we making our school to be on the board, to be known, like passing exams and you are known now. But looking on the skills of the learners to come out with the skill that after school I can start this on my own. So it is quite different.
With extraordinary schools, they teach using extraordinary ways. Now here the main purpose is not to pass exams, but it is to transform. Transform lives or transform a person. Here the main objective is to instill values in people. Here the main objective is to enable people attain what they call, or to enable people discover the importance of what we call the deep thinking. Or extraordinary. Deep thinking. Now yeah, the deep thinking, today we might call it like the way how people say critical thinking. Eh? But initially, it was not critical thinking, it was called deep thinking, whereby you look at a situation, you have to think deep. Are you together? Yeah. Like today, according to us, do we still have that deep thinking? People just think shallow, yeah? Are you getting it? Now, again, the main objective of this, or the main objective of the extraordinary schools, is to produce more of people who are called solution providers. Now this one is producing solution providers. Now this one is producing more of, are we together? This one is producing more of, if this one is producing solution providers, what about this form of education? Now, as this one is producing solution providers, now this one will always produce what we call solution users. Only they don't have any solution, but they will use what? Solutions. Are we together? Why? How? Like example, a person tells you, if I get money, I'm going to open up a shop and I start going to this country, the other country to bring things and sell them here. Are we together? But we need an education whereby people start asking themselves a question. Instead of you going to China or going to any other country, bringing just toothpicks, how can we start creating those toothpicks here? And that one now, it is in this form. If you look at this form, we are going to be looking at those things that we call like application-based learning. How can you apply that knowledge? Not just learning things in class, and at the end of the day you pass them, but you can't use them, or you can't use the knowledge. Are you getting that? Finally, on this, with extraordinary schools, they majorly focus on one's future. They focus on one's, remember, they focus on one's what? Now, when it comes on the ordinary schools, their major focus is on events.
Like speech days.
They focus mainly on things that just happen within a short period of time, not something that they can use for a long time, especially to solve problems.
Cultural galas.
They focus on cultural galas.
And sports days.
These schools also focus on activities like tours and excursions.
Tours and excursions.
Usually schools put more effort in the passing of PLEs. So they usually celebrate the events of passing the examinations. They always don't think about this child's future to have. As long as the child has passed the examinations, and that's the end of the thing. Thank you.
And the events are just results. You name PLE and those final results. Are we together? But at the end of the day, final results don't determine the future of any child. Are you getting it? Yeah. I might not get a 4 or 20 or 18 senior 4. But as long as I've passed, it simply means I'm still pursuing my future or goal. And there is no job that you will get when they are employing you and they'll tell you, did you get a 4?
It's like, that is why practical lessons, someone who is better in practical is better than one who is best in theory. Because even when you finish education, they ask for the experience. So you must be good in practical, but not in theory.
The education system is changing, mostly, especially in the town setting. We have the market forces. Education has changed into knowledge giving to market. So people are using it as business. Therefore, what does the business world want from this school? They want children who pass. That's the fight. Even a director who has just opened a school want a 4. Why? Because that is where the world is taking us. Therefore, the teachers are transformed from that knowledge giving into passing of exams. I get one time back when we were at school, when we compare the government school and the private. Government school has no competition. Now, when a teacher goes to teach, for him he gives the knowledge, and that is all. They don't handle how you should pass exams. I remember in math, there is part of, when you look at the MK, there is part where they write think. The teachers could give those questions, they just give you the question. Now it is you to reason. Either one, they used to train us as we are going for lunch. If you cannot get this question, no going. Then 2, where there is crisis, that's when the brain works more. Now, because those government children are not taught the way these ones of town are taught, they look for their own way of doing things. They look for their own way of answering. Therefore, if the market forces is not much, even the town schools can go back to get that methodology, the way we have been taught in the past.
We are talking on behalf of our children and children's children and our education. And we would like even our school Disney and other schools to become schools whereby person says, I brought my child at Disney, but the truth is, there is a big difference. Are we together? According to you, should we be contented with that way of doing things because of the market, or we should do something like as educators?
Now, me as an educationist, I would love to do something as an educator. But the question comes in, what is the picture of director? And what is his aim of setting up the school? I may want to do things that transform children's life, that give value, that make a child wholesomely fit the society, even if without me as a teacher. But what is the objective of director? Those are some suppressive forces that the director wants this for you, you want this. You cannot contradict the two ideas. But the best is to go on transforming the child, the life of the child. Because at the end of it all, if you go on giving the knowledge and at the finishing point, the children cannot pass, but they have the thinking capacity. Therefore, I think you'll end up being fired.
In addition to what the teacher has just said, I can also put it across this way. Here is a situation that is so taxing that we need to analyze. First of all, both the ordinary and the extraordinary schools have got something in common. They need the children, those are customers. The extraordinary also need what? Need the children. Now, what makes a difference between the extraordinary and the ordinary is that besides providing quality education to the learners, we should flavor the service that we provide to the learners that surpasses the other ones in the ordinary. How? we need to teach the children well, prepare them for excellence. That is in what? In academics. But besides, we can as well think of other areas where we can train our learners, which service may not be provided in ordinary what? In ordinary schools. Like for instance, a child who has studied from particularly this school of ours has got exposure through excursions, through other activities like swimming, through other activities like maybe music gala and the rest. Because by so doing, a learner is wholesomely prepared, which may not be the case in these ordinary schools. So still, as we labor for academic excellence, we should revisit our work plan and the timetables to fix some other activities that help to market our school more, such that we create a difference. Because when I look at the other word, extra only, that means there is a mile, there is an extra mile that we have to do, such that we create a difference between our school that is termed to be an extraordinary school and the other ordinary schools. Because if that difference is not there, then of course we shall have no reason to do what? To establish such a school, since other schools can provide the same services that we provide.
Our main focus, we should always put a lot of attention when it comes to what they call the learning objectives. And these are called the major learning objectives. What does that mean? Whatever children learn, firstly they have to know things when they come to schools. Are we together? Then they have to understand those things, whatever they are being taught. It's not all about knowing, but they also have to understand. Now from understanding, they have to apply that knowledge